We got a ton of new Marvel Spider-Man 2 info. Like, one of the biggest new additions, if you like to go for a stealth approach, is the new web line gadget that creates this line for you to walk over, so you have way more freedom in how you want to approach a situation. Well, from our play session, we learned that you can only have 6 of these active at a time. If you after that create a new line, then the first one you made will disappear, so it's good to keep that in mind. And this double takedown is, by the way, a skill you have to unlock, so you cannot do it immediately, but getting it will help you get the slackline trophy, where you have to stealth take down 25 enemies from these web lines. Like Insomniac shared the trophy list for the game. No story spoilers of course in this video, but it does tell us a lot already. For one, a familiar character is back. No, it's luckily not Screwball, thank God, but Howard, who appeared in both the first game and Miles Morales and had us go after his missing pigeons. So we had to chase them, and then when we got close enough, could grab them with our web. Like, I'm curious if they changed this activity a bit in Spider-Man 2, but yeah, we will at least have to help Howard again for a new adventure trophy. We already saw in the recent trailer that the air tricks are back, giving a small bit of XP. And for one trophy we will have to perform 30 of them in a row without touching the ground, which I think is easy enough. There's also the splat though, where we have to attempt and then fail a trick before landing on the ground. Your theories on how to pull this off are more than welcome in the comments down below. I would imagine that it's pretty easy. I do think the sword trophy though might be challenging, as this has us only use the web wings to glide from the financial district to Astoria, but we can use the wind tunnels. Now, pro tip, maybe you remember the tallest building, which over here on the map, and will probably be the same in Spider-Man 2. Like, from there we would have to go over here in a new area of the map. Still a challenge, but I think jumping off this tallest building will totally help. For another trophy, we will have to go to Aunt May's grave as Peter. So yeah, similar to the trophy from the first game where we had to go to Uncle Ben's grave. Hopefully the dialogue for Aunt May is a bit more personal though than what we had for Uncle Ben. And there are also trophies for many of the side activities, like doing all the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man requests that you can see on the app, with a cool icon telling you if you can do the objective with either Peter, Miles, or with both Spider-Man. You also need to complete all the hunter bases for a trophy, so defeat all Kraven soldiers in the area, and completing these will of course also give you crafting resources. And I think it's pretty handy to know how the crafting system works. So there's a common resource called tech parts that you seem to need for every upgrade you can do in the game. You get this from many activities, but there are also special tech stashes in the world, and getting all of them will actually also unlock a trophy. Now, there is luckily traversal suit tech that lets you reveal all these tech crates on your mini-map. It kind of reminds me of the proximity sensor suit mod from the first game that was needed to find all the secret photo locations. So suit tech in Spider-Man 2 is kind of comparable to the suit mods from the first game, only now you get passive bonuses for health, damage, for focus, which of course the bar under your health. If you have a bar here, you can do a takedown. And again, there's also suit tech for traversal, and we got another example here, increasing the web wings turn speed for improved handling. And if you, by the way, see 2 of these suit tech options under each other, they can only have 1 active at a time, so you gotta pick and choose. And as you can see, crafting suit tech requires hero tokens next to the tech parts, while crafting the actual suits requires city tokens, and crafting gadgets will require rare tech parts. And there is, by the way, this new feature that you find below called Where to Find, and this will show you a list of activities that reward you with the resource you are looking for. And for the platinum, you will have to craft everything, because there's a trophy for unlocking everything in each category. And Sony told us that you should be able to do this in one playthrough, and the same is the case for skills. So you can unlock all the skills in your first run, which is interesting in regards to New Game Plus, but more on that in a second. Now, in our previous video, Joyce talked about the spider bots that are hidden throughout New York. A link to that video, by the way, with way more info in the video description for if you haven't watched it yet. So these are basically the backpacks from the first game, only we don't know who made them and how they got in these locations. But at one point during our play session, Genki would call, saying that if we collected all the spider bots, we would figure out the origins. And turns out that that is actually what we also have to do for the funky wireless protocols trophy. Probably one of the more time-consuming trophies to get, and if you, by the way, like the video so far, leaving a like would really show your support, so thanks for that, and subscribe because we got way more videos on Spider-Man 2 coming your way. Of course, there are also some combat-specific trophies where you have to defeat enemies, so do the final blow with one of Miles' evolved Venom abilities. There's also an ability called Reverse Flux that we were not able to try in our play session yet. This lets you pull enemies together, and doing that with 6 or more enemies at one time will unlock the trophy. The spider arms are now an ability for Peter instead of a suit power, and it's actually one of the first abilities you will unlock before getting the symbiote suit even. And defeating 100 enemies with spider arm abilities is also a trophy. And with the symbiote suit, you have a special ultimate ability called Symbiote Surge that lets you easily do takedowns and also powers up your symbiote abilities, while doing 25 of the abilities while this Symbiote Surge effect is active is also for a trophy. And while Insomniac did not share all the trophies, they did appear online thanks to Power Picks, and there's no trophy for a New Game Plus mode, while Miles Morales, of course, had one for beating the game again on New Game Plus. So this either means that they removed that trophy, or that they will be adding New Game Plus later. We were able to interview the developers, and it's probably the latter, as they were not able to confirm if New Game Plus is in the game. So I think they're gonna add it later, like the first Spider-Man. I will, of course, keep you posted here. There, by the way, once again, no difficulty trophies, and the 4 regular difficulties that are available are Friendly Neighborhood, Friendly, Amazing, and Spectacular, similar to the previous games. Now, those games also had Ultimate, but that was exclusive to the New Game Plus mode. So yeah, I think that depends on if the New Game Plus mode is available at launch, or if it will be coming later. Now, what is cool in terms of difficulty is that Insomniac added new ways to tweak it, which reminds me a lot of how Horizon Forbidden West did it as well. So on the PlayStation blog, Insomniac now shared that you can change the enemy health, enemy damage, and stealth awareness individually. So if you only have trouble with the stealth sections, then you can tweak the stealth awareness, while then the combat difficulty will remain higher. It's pretty nice. And just like in Insomniac's previous game, Ratchet & Clank, we can now also tweak the game's speed for if you want to, with the options being 70, 50, and 30%. Also, during our play session, Joyce was able to find an option to simplify puzzles, which would reduce the complexity of the puzzles in the game. Maybe remember that in the 2018 game and Miles Morales, there was an option to straight up skip the puzzle. That doesn't seem to be possible in Spider-Man 2. Now they will instead just be a bit easier. Other settings we found was a streamer mode to nuke the licensed music in the game. You could turn off the music in the open world in general, and I'm not sure why you would, but you could also turn off the J. Jonah Jameson podcast that are of course back in Spider-Man 2. And another fun thing that Joyce discovered is that when you approach the water, you can surf now and then jump back into the air. We don't have footage of this yet, but that's of course a fun addition. Now totally subscribe for way more Spider-Man 2 content if you haven't already. We got a ton of spoiler-free tips and tricks of course planned, and way more. A like would really help me out, and check out that previous video with hands-on impressions and also way more info by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.